أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم everyone today. Welcome to our other edition here today about learning the Tajweed of the Quran and helping ourselves to perfect our Quran recitation. So, if you're joining me today in the session right now, my name is Imam Muhammad. I'm the founder here and also a teacher. I teach here at Mahir Academy. So if you're excited to learn with me every week, we've started our curriculum modules for the last 3 months. Again, we do this every 4 months. So we've started the module again early August to help students and parents who wants the kids to learn the Quran and become fluent Quran reciters achieve this goal, inshallah. So, we're gonna talk today about the moon and the silent lambs. So we've already discussed this a while ago. We discussed this last week. We discussed about the moon and the sun letters, and together we discussed about the rules of pronouncing the lamb, the rules of pronouncing the lamb. So we'll go ahead and today and discuss this together as well. We'll learn about the rules of pronouncing the moon and the sun letters, which we started last week. Now we started last week, and unfortunately we couldn't stream live the session last week. So inshallah, I'm back fully. The system is working back, so we'll be able to stream live, and you all can hear me clearly, inshallah. So I'm gonna start reciting Surah Al-Fatiha to get started. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Guys, so look at the screen there. You see the rules of lamb and the moon and the sun lamb. So we've discussed a lot about this last week. But unfortunately, I couldn't stream live the session, but you all were able to watch it back later on from the chat. And so we've talked about the moon letters lam. When the lam is having nothing, is having a sukun symbol, meaning the lam will be an izhar of the lam. So meaning this one here, it will be al-atqa, or this one will be al-ard, right? You pronounce the alif al-wasli with a fatha, but the lam is pronounced with a sukun. So this is called the moon lam, right? When you see the scenario that you see the lam having a sukun, like we've learned before, it's having a half circle sukun like this. And so this make the lam izhar of the lam. Of course, the lam is still silent, but it's pronounced in a mild, a short formed because of the half circle sukun on it. So al-ard. And we mentioned last week that when you see this kind of alif is called the alif al-wasli or hamzatul wasli. Okay, it's called alif al-wasli or hamzatul wasli. So alif al-wasli, the alif or the hamza, like some scholars call it. I mean, it has two names. So you can either call it alif al-wasli or you call it hamzatul wasli. You can either call it alif al-wasli or you call it hamzat al-wasli. So hamzat al-wasli or alif al-wasli, it has two names. So either of the names that you call it is the same thing, and it's gonna make the letter pronounced in some scenarios, and some scenarios it will not be pronounced. So here now, this alif al-wasli or hamzat al-wasli is called a connecting the connecting alif. It's called the connecting alif. And so whenever you see it in the Quran, you have to pronounce it together. When you have it in the beginning of a word or in the beginning of an ayah, it has to be pronounced. Or you recite in the Quran, it has. So I'll tell you the three rules of how to determine what haraka you will give the alif al-wasli. So this alif al-wasli you're seeing here can either have a fatha, can have a kasra, can have a dhamma. So you see them looking like an alif and having a small sword symbol on top of them. They are called hamza. These are hamza. They're called hamza al-wasli. So here, whenever they have alif, whenever they have a lam together with them, they pronounce with a fatha all the time. Okay, al-jawari, al-kayla, al-waswas. We practiced this last week. But how do you pronounce the sun lam, meaning the lam shamsiya? Okay, the lam shamsiya. So these are examples that we did last week as well. This is here now. We are pronouncing the alif al-wasli here. وداود وسليمان إذ يحكمان في. So you see the lam here is a lam al-qamariyya. And so this is the other rule I mentioned last week about the alif al-wasli. Is not pronounced. It's not pronounced if it's in the middle. So it's only pronounced whenever it's beginning a recitation of a surah or an ayah that nothing is coming before it, or whenever you reciting a surah and you stop and the next part to read, you read it with beginning with alif al-wasli, that's when you pronounce it only. But most of the time it's not pronounced if it's in the middle of a word or in the middle of recitation. So here now you don't pronounce the alif al-wasli here, right? But you do the izhar. You showcase that the lam here has a shortened sound. It has the alf sukun on top of it. That's gonna have it a shortened sound. So fil harf, or here إذ نفشت فيه غنم. So we're not pronouncing this, but pronouncing meme together with the lam al-qamariyya. So that's about that. Just a quick recap of those things we've learned last week. And also we went ahead and discussed the lam al-shamsiyya. Okay, the sun, lam, and letters, right? And so in this scenario of the lam al-shamsiyya, it's a form of silent lam as well. However, what happened in this case of lam al-shamsiyya is that the lam is completely quiet. The lam is completely quiet. So meaning the lam is not pronounced at all. It's not pronounced at all at all. So there's idgham in this scenario, meaning the lam is really not pronounced. So it's merged. So here now we're gonna pronounce the alif al-wasli with the fatha, but you see the lam al-shamsiyya will not be pronounced. So this will be at-tammah, right? So go watch back the lesson video I did last week about the difference between the moon lam and the sun lam. So it's not about naming based on the moon or on the sun. It's just a terminology used in qira'ah, using tajweed, right? So a lam shamsiya is a lam that's completely quiet and silent. It's not pronounced in the word. It's there, but it's not pronounced. So we call it al-idgham, meaning merging of letters, producing the sound of lam shamsiya. And one thing that you will see for all the letters of shamsiya, so we have lam shamsiya, we have the letters of shamsiya, we have lam al-qamariya, the letters of qamariya. So all the letters of Lam Shamsiya, all letters that come after it will always have a shadda because of idgham. So that's what idgham is gonna come. That's what's going that is what the rule of idgham will do. Because now we are now skipping this lam here. We're skipping the pronunciation of this lam. As such, the letter that comes will get a shadda. So you see all the letters here will have a shadda. So that's denoting what? That's denoting al-idgham. So idgham of Lam Shamsiya make the letters coming after them have a shadda. So this will be ad-dahr, right? As-sajidun, ad-dallin, right? So these are lam shamsiyya, and all the letters coming after them are lam letters of shamsiyya. And you see as well the same thing I mentioned earlier about the alif al-wasli. The alif al-wasli as well still maintain its own definition here, or it's called alif al-wasli or hamzatul wasl. Okay, so let's go and do some practice. So I'm gonna explain the three rules of identifying what will this letter have, the alif al-wasli. You will see it a lot in the Quran. So do you pronounce it with a fatha? Do you pronounce it with a kasra? Do you pronounce it with a dumma? So it's very simple rule. We'll learn quickly about it today, inshallah. So let's do some practice together here. I did some in the class last week, but we'll do more example of practicing moon and the sun lamb, or the moon and the sun letters. So here, look at this word here, this combination here. So I want you all to pause this video and identify. So I'm going to number this. So this is 1, this is 2, all right, this is 3, this is 4, all right, this is 5, this is 6. So which one has which combination of which combination out of the 6 combination of words and letters here, which one have the lam shamsiyah? Which one has the lam shamsiyah? I would like you all to point out one of them has lam shamsiyah, and then some of them, or let's say some have the lam al-qamariyah. So which one has the lam al-shamsiyah? Remember, the lam al-shamsiyah, that lam will be soundless and it will not even have any symbol, meaning it's completely silent to the extent that we do idgham, meaning it doesn't get pronounced. It's written there, but you don't see any sign or anything on top of it. So that's the lam al-shamsiyah. So which one? Is it number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, or 6? So you see, it's so easy. The one that having the lam al-shamsiyah is number 4. Meaning what? The alif, the lam here is really completely quiet. It's not gonna be pronounced at all. So what will happen when you pronounce this? You see, this is an alif here, is an alif med. For those of you who have joined the modules when I taught med, so an alif med is an alif sakin, an alif that doesn't have a sound. Or a waw madiyya is a waw that's silent, having a sukun or nothing. A ya madiyya, it's a silent ya as well. So this alif is silent, and this Hamzat al-wasli here as well, we mentioned earlier, whenever it's in the middle of a word, you don't pronounce it. So you're not going to pronounce these 2 alif here. We call it iltiqa'u sakinain in tajweed, meaning when 2 silent letters come together, they get abrogated, right? They get canceled out. They get canceled out. So both of these 2 letters are not going to be pronounced in this scenario here. So when you want to pronounce this, you're going to pronounce this dhal right away to the sheen. We said earlier, the lam shamsiya will not be pronounced. So you see, you have to have that understanding to read this word correctly. So that will be idha shamsu. But you need to apply the rule of shadda that I taught you, 3 weeks ago. I've talked about the shadda rule twice, in 2 weeks. I talked about it. I talked about it a lot, and I described how you exemplify shadda in pronunciation of words. So try to pronounce this word here. So I've set a rule here, which I mentioned is called iltiqa'u sakinain, meaning merging of 2 silent letters. So this alif med and the hamzat al-wasli are going to be silent, and in that regard, they will be completely off the pronunciation of the word. Idha shams, right? So you pronounce the that together with the shin. But in the case here, you look at this word here, the one on the top here, is an example of lam al-qamariyah. What's going to happen? Of course, the alif met of the noon and the alif al wasli, they will not be pronounced. So they will not be pronounced. So all those ones you see in red will not be pronounced. So when you pronounce these words together, you say shaqaqunal, meaning you join the noon together with the lam. But unlike the lam shamsiya here, we didn't join the that to the lam. The lam is out of the pronunciation as well. But here you have the noon coming to connect to the lam here. So that will be shaqaqunal. And so remember the rule I mentioned called iltiqa'u sakinain. When you see any 2 silent letters together, they will be cancelled out of pronunciation. Right? Shaqaqunal ard. You see this one as well? These 2 alif. Alright? This is an alif med. This is alif al-wasli. There are 2 different kind of alif there. This one is alif al-med. It's silent. This one is alif al-wasli. It's also going to be silent due to the position it occurs in the word, in the middle of pronunciation. So you're gonna do wa idhal, wa idhal. Or here as well, the same thing. Mal. So you don't pronounce this alif med. It's a sakin. You don't pronounce this alif al-wasli. It's gonna be quiet as well. So you join the meme together with the lam al-qamariyah. You see, the lam al-qamariyah is there's izhar, it's showing that there's a lam there, although the sound is shortened because of the kind of sukun it has, right? So let's go and look at this as well. And this is another iltiqa'u sakinain rule here. You see here, we've been seeing alif and alif. Here, this is a ya mad that's also silent, and an alif al-wasli that's not going to be pronounced. So we're going to join the lam together with the lam of lam al-qamariyah. So it's going to be wa idhal. وإذا الجبال وإذا right? And the same thing here, you cancel this silent lambs, silent ya and the alif al-wasli, and the lam connect together with the lam al-qamariyah. على الأرائك على الأرائك. So you see something here that it's so very glaring, the difference between the lam al-shamsiyah and the lam al-qamariyah. So the lam al-shamsiyah will be pronounced with it will not be pronounced at all, right? Like this one here, right? Like this lam here. But the lam al-qamariyah is going to be pronounced with a shortened sound, right? Like this one is there's a lam al-qamariyah and all the rest are lam al-qamariyah. So let's do some reading, and I'm going to explain in the next few minutes I have in this class to talk about how to differentiate the sound, the short vowel sound that you will give to an alif al-wasli. Okay? Alif al-wasli. So I want you all to pause this video, or whenever you have time, go back, watch this, and actually look at this and pronounce this word. At this point, if you've been following me for the last 3 months or 4 months since August, so August, September, October, November, so it's amazing the exact duration that it takes students in a program to achieve reading fluency is what we've covered to teach the entire curriculum in these live sessions on Sundays. So join me next week. We'll learn the last module for level 1 students in our program. So level 1 students in our program will learn 8 modules. So we're learning the 7th module right now. So by next week, we're going to round up the module of an accelerated Quran reading program that takes just 4 months for students to read the word of the Quran themselves confidently. So let's practice some of this. I'm going to do 2 or 3 of them, and so you're all going to practice the rest. So this one will be like, وَيُؤْتُ الزَّكَاةَ. So if you follow me for the last 4 or 3 months, you'll see that we've said something today about this waw will not be pronounced. Although this alif, we know that it's not going to pronounce already because it's having the full circle sukun. This one is not going to be pronounced. This also will not be pronounced. And there are reasons why they're all not pronounced, right? So the waw here is a waw madiyya. It's not going to pronounce because it's really connecting the word that has it to the next word. This also will not be pronounced. This also will not be pronounced. This lam shamsiya will not be pronounced. So that will be wa you to zakah. So this is zakah. It's not zakawa. So this alifu, the tiny alif mad, it's taking over the waw here. So here or dhil arsh. You see that? So the alif al wasli is not pronounced. Or here, ila sujud, right? So this lamu, this ya madiyya and the alif al-wasli, of course the lam shamsiyya are not pronounced, right? So these are the real examples of the silent lam, of the moon lam and the sun lam and their letters. So let's talk briefly, which I'm going to make it very quick because I have a few minutes to end to go and teach some other students in some other classes. So we have the lam shamsiyya. So we have the alif al-wasli. I actually did a brief explanation last week. I'm not gonna share our PowerPoint that we used to teach this module. I'm just gonna do some explanation to you all listening. So pay attention to what I'm gonna explain about the lam alif al-wasli. So we have two kind of hamza. So I mentioned that last week that we have two kind of hamza in the Quran. We have what we call the hamzat al-qat'i and hamzat al-wasl. So the Hamzat al-Qat'i is the one that's really common that you all know. You all know it. So which is this one, Hamza that you all know is called Hamzat al-Qat'i. It's called the Nama Hamza. But we have another kind of Hamza called the Hamzat al-Wasli. This kind of alif that will have this kind of symbol is an Hamza, right? This one. When you see this on the Quran word, it's called Hamzat al-Wasli or Alif al-Wasli. So how do you pronounce this? You see many ayat of the Quran. They're like, oh, how do I pronounce this? How do I pronounce this? So the first rule, what will determine this alif here will always be pronounced with a fatha whenever the letter that comes after it is a lam. Okay, so this alif al-wasli will be pronounced with a fatha whenever the letter that comes after it is what? Is a lam al-ma'rifah. Like you see here, alladhina. Look at this word here. You will say alladhina. This is a brief just summary. I've discussed this, at a very long video earlier, maybe last year. So go check our YouTube channel. Go check it. You'll see all those things described there about the Alif al-Wasli, the Hamzat al-Wasli. But just a recap for all of you listening to me right now. So the Alif al-Wasli, whenever it's beginning a word or whenever it's in the start of a new part of recitation. So like say you're beginning a surah, right, or an ayah, and the first letter in that ayah is alif al-wasli, right, that you want to recite. You have to pronounce the alif, right? But when you pronounce it, it's going to be pronounced like an hamza. So what will determine what it's going to have? This is not a fatha. This symbol is not a shadda. It's not any of the sound that you all know, but it's called a symbol to denote the alif al-wasli. But anytime you see a lam together with it, right? Whenever it has a lam together with it, it's going to pronounce the fatha. The situation that will make it pronounced with kesra is whenever the alif al-wasli is not having a lam together with it after it, but it's in the middle, right? So this is let me actually make this. So this is when alif al-wasli is going to be having a kesra when it's going to be having a kesra whenever you have a word, and when you combine the first, second, third, the third word, like this one, this word is in Surah Istikbaran, right? Is in Surah Al-Fatir, right? Istikbaran fil ard. You see this ayah in the last page of Surah Al-Fatir. Fatir. So you see, you're gonna see this kind of hamza there, right? And the scene is gonna have a sukun, and the ta has a kasra, the kaf has a sukun as well. So why are we pronouncing this alif here with kasra? Because when you count, the third letter in the combination of that word is having a kasra. So anytime you have the third letter together with the alif al-wasli in a word, and you check the third letter of the combination, it's a kasra. The alif al-wasli will have a kasra as well. So it will be istikbaron, right? It's gonna be istikbaron fil ard. So how do we determine if alif al-wasli will have a dhamma? There are two things to learn from that. When the third letter, okay, like this one in Surah Al-Nahl, ida'u, right? This word here, you see this in Surah Al-Nahl, the last page of Surah Al-Nahl as well. Go check it. So this one is a dhamma. The ayn has a dhamma. The dal has a sukun. So here it's gonna be uda'u, uda'u, right? So the alif al-wasli is getting the dhamma because the the last letter of the third letter, right? The thulathi in these are those who know the syntax, right? Sarf. The thulathi of the word. So the harfu thulathi, meaning the third letter of the word is having a dhamma. This one will have a dhamma. But what happened if the third letter of the word has a fatha? If the third letter of the word has a fatha, what will happen? In that case, the alif al-wasli will not be pronounced with a fatha. It will be pronounced with a kasra. So that's the nitty-gritty of that. So we've learned when alif al-wasli is going to pronounce with a fatha is whenever it has a lam al-ma'rifa coming after it. It's going to pronounce with a fatha. It also will pronounce with a fatha anytime that the third letter of the word is having a fatha. The third letter of the word is having a fatha. Right? So you don't see an alif al-wasli together with a lam, but you count the thulathi letter, the third letter of the word is having a fatha. The alif al-wasli get pronounced with a kasra. It get pronounced with a kasra. Sorry, it get pronounced with a kasra. So here now in Surah Al-A'la, Surah Al-Qalam. No. Yeah, Surah Al-Alaq. You see here it's going to be iqra, right? The hamza, right? Right? The ra has what? Has a fatha. So here now the ra is the third letter of iqra. But because the ra is having a fatha, this alif al-wasli will be having a kasra. Be having a kasra. So whenever alif al-wasli will be having a kasra anytime the third letter of the word, the alif al-wasli is into, has a kasra, alif al-wasli will have a kasra. The third letter is having a fatha, and alif al-wasli does not have a lam right after it, but the third letter of that word having a fatha, alif al-wasli will have a kasra. But alif al-wasli will always have a fatha anytime the letter that comes after it is what? A lam. Alif al-wasl will always have a dhamma if the third letter of the word it is in has a dhamma. So for more explanation, join us on our accelerated Quran reading program. You want to learn more, check our YouTube channel to watch my video, which I've described this extensively. This is just an add-on to this module that we'll learn today, inshallah. So you want to join us in our reading fluency program. Comment interested below this video so we can reach out to you. You can join one of our parent demo sessions. We can show you how the program works. So you set up your child on the path to reading the Quran themselves in the next 4 months and reading confidently. We have our adult program as well. So let's get started. I'll hang the call here right now. I'll see you next week, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.